Amendments in segment 3, invoice time of supply. See, in this we have small amendments. First thing is about invoice in case of low value supplies. What is a low value supply? Whenever the value of supply does not exceed 200 rupees per transaction, it is known as low value supplies. And is there any relaxation in case of low value supplies? Yes, there is a relaxation. In case of low value supplies, the supplier is not required to give invoice, provided 3 conditions are satisfied. What are those 3 conditions? Condition number 1, it is a B2C transaction. So, it is a low value supply, value per supply less than rupees 200, and 3 conditions should be satisfied, then supplier is not required to give any invoice. What is the condition number 1? It is a B2C supply, means recipient is unregistered. And what is condition number 2? Recipient is not in need of any invoice. Suppose if recipient asks, even if it is a low value supply, if recipient asks that I want an invoice, then definitely invoice needs to be given. And third condition is that a consolidated invoice needs to be prepared at the end of the day with respect to all these low value supplies, means definitely it should be recorded, but every time the supply takes place you don't have to give invoice. All these supplies you can put it into a single invoice, a consolidated invoice, but it should be accounted. So, this we have discussed in invoice. Let it be tax invoice or bill of supply, let it be for goods or services, the same concept is going to be applied. Whereas, in case of this multiplexes, we have cinema halls in multiplexes, what could be the ticket price? Some definitely more than 200, but some ticket prices will be less than 200 also. Because in Bangalore, what will be the ticket price? 400, 500, like that the ticket price will be in a multiplex hall cinemas. Whereas in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, it will not be more than 200 rupees. Many theatres are charging in the range of 170, I am talking about including GST. So, therefore, less than 200 only, and they do not have to give any invoice. But there is a small amendment related to that. With effect from 1/9/2019, 4th proviso to Rule 46 has been amended to disallow this option to the supplier engaged in making supply of services by way of admission to exhibition of cinematograph films in multiplex screens. So, in a multiplex hall, there is a theatre or a screen for which they are collecting some ticket. Even if the value of the ticket is less than 200, they do not have such option of not giving the invoice, they need to give invoice. Accordingly, a registered person who is supplying service by way of admission to exhibition of cinematograph films in multiplex screen shall be required to issue an electronic ticket. So, now it is mandatory to give a e-ticket. The said e-ticket is deemed to be the invoice. So, not that separately they need to prepare an invoice, and who will be going to the cinema halls? Definitely not a registered person, individuals. So, therefore, it is a B2C transaction. When it is a B2C transaction, so invoice separately is not required, and whatever is the ticket that is being given, the e-ticket, that itself act as invoice, but the essential details should be there. Moreover, supplier of such service in a screen other than multiplex screen, suppose if it is a normal cinema theatre, it is not in a multiplex hall, they have the option whether to give invoice or not. Suppose if they also wanted to follow this procedure, they can also follow this procedure. Then it is only for cinema halls, not for any other person. Then there is one more amendment, a clarification. Goods are taken outside India for exhibition purposes. Goods are taken outside India for exhibition purposes. Is it supply or not a supply? First, when goods are taken outside India, for what purpose? Exhibition, which means there is only movement of goods, but there is no supply. mere movement of goods will not constitute supply. It should be for a consideration. So there is no consideration here. The supplier, in order to promote his business or sale, he is taking the goods and he is displaying it in an exhibition outside India, and once the exhibition is over, he will be bringing those goods. So at the time when he takes those goods to the exhibition, is it supply? No, it is not a supply, and consequently GST is not payable at the time when the goods are taken out. Now we have section 31 subsection 7, which tells which deals with due date of invoice in case of sale on approval or on return basis. So what is that section 31 subsection 7? Invoice due date in case of sale on approval or on return basis. What is the date by which invoice to be given? As and when goods are removed, within 6 months from that date, the sale should have been concluded. Otherwise, it is deemed that the sale is concluded after 6 months, or date on which the supply takes place, whichever is earlier. Means, what is the time frame that is given? 6 months. Within 6 months, if the recipient accepts, yes, I need these goods, then the sale happens or supply happens and we need to give invoice. What if within 6 months the recipient is not accepting? Then in that case, it is deemed that the goods got supplied and we need to raise the invoice. Now, applying that concept here, when you take the goods for exhibition outside India and the goods got returned within 6 months, so the deemed supply as per 31 subsection 7 will not be applicable. Suppose if the goods are not brought within 6 months, then it is deemed to have been supplied. So that is this clarification. Say this. This circular has clarified that activity of sending or taking the goods out of India for exhibition or on consignment basis for export promotion do not constitute supply. Why do not constitute supply? There is no consideration here, as the said activity do not fall under 7(1)(a), as there is no consideration at that point of time. Since such activity is not a supply, the same cannot be considered as zero rated supply. So you cannot call it as even exports. However, when such activity falls under 7(1)(c), then it constitutes supply. Thereafter, the same constitutes zero rated supply. What is this 7(1)(c)? We have DRIP, disposal of business asset on which ITC has been availed. Then related party transactions or transaction between distinct persons, and import of services from a related person, and last principal agent transaction. But when we are sending the goods outside India for exhibition purposes, it will not come in DRIP. So it is not a disposal, because we are sending the goods there and again it will be brought back. So therefore 7(1)(c) will not be attracted generally. Suppose if we are sending the goods to a person outside India who is our agent, then it may become a principal agent transaction and it may come in 7(1)(c). For that purpose it is given here. But generally when the goods are taken out for exhibition purpose, it will not become supply. But if it satisfies the ingredients of 7(1)(c), then it will become supply, and consequently it is a zero rated supply. Because for becoming zero rated supply in case of goods, there is no condition that consideration should be in foreign exchange, a place of supply should be outside India, all these things are not there. So what is the meaning of export of goods? Taking goods from India to a place outside India is known as export of goods. So consequently if it becomes supply, then it is a zero rated supply. And what if the goods sent out are not brought back? See the next. So all background provisions to understand this I have given there. Now, what if the goods sent out of India are not brought back? The specified goods sent or taken out of India are required to be either sold or brought back within the stipulated time period of 6 months. From where this 6 months came? Because of section 31 subsection 7. So that background provision also I have given there. So within 6 months the goods should have brought back. If the specified goods are sold abroad fully or partially within the specified period of 6 months, at that point of time the supply takes place and we need to give invoice, and it is a zero rated supply. when the specified goods sent or taken out of India have neither been sold nor brought back either fully or partially within the stipulated period of 6 months, then the deeming fiction will arise. In case of the deeming fiction, the supply takes place and we need to raise the invoice. But sir, actually we took it outside India and 6 months is over, it becomes supply. Now again we are bringing it back. So exactly after 6 months you will give invoice and it becomes supply, so you give invoice. Now the goods are coming back, you give a credit note, because for giving credit note we have the time limit, so you give a credit note. So that's the best way. Suppose if the time limit for issuance of credit note is gone. What is the time limit for issuance of credit note? By September end of the succeeding financial year with respect to any supply that takes place in a financial year. With respect to any supply that takes place in a financial year for which you have given invoice, you need to give the credit note by September of the succeeding financial year. So you have that much of time limit. So by the time you should have brought your goods back so that you can give the credit note or you can raise a credit note and this supply gets nullified. So your output tax liability gets reduced as and when you report the credit note in the return. So therefore, this is the best way, and ensure that you are bringing it back within 6 months. Otherwise, unnecessarily it becomes supply and you will be ending up paying GST. Now, see this illustration. Messrs. ABC sends 100 units of specified goods out of India. The activity of merely sending or taking such specified goods out of India is not a supply. We already discussed that. No tax invoice is required to be issued in this case, but the specified goods shall be accompanied by a delivery challan. Because whenever we are removing the goods without supply, it should accompany a delivery challan. In case the entire quantity of the specified goods is brought back within the stipulated period of 6 months from the date of removal, no tax invoice is required to be issued because there is no supply. However, the entire quantity of the specified goods is neither sold nor brought back within 6 months, a tax invoice would be required to be issued for entire 100 units of the specified goods. And what will be taken as the time of supply? In accordance with the provisions contained in section 12. So regular time of supply and invoice when to be given 31. If the sale has taken place, when the invoice to be given? As per section 31 subsection 1, when supply involves movement of goods, supply does not involve movement of goods. So that will come. Or suppose if the sale, like sale on approval or on return basis, we have section 31 subsection 7. So which section will be applicable here? Section 31 subsection 7 will be applicable, not other sections. And the time of supply, so here it is coming under, if it is FCM, definitely it is FCM. In that case, section 12 subsection 2, due date of invoice or actual date of invoice is the time of supply. So accordingly we need to determine and we need to pay the GST. So with this, amendments in segment 3 is over.